I'm an educational audiologist, so people will probably know of audiologists. Audiologists work in the health service. They will diagnose and fit hearing aids. But from the moment of diagnosis, the issue changes from a medical issue to an educational issue. So educationalists then have to take on the kind of major roles. We will continue to work with audiologists because they will continue to monitor any changes in the hearing levels, which will then affect the fitting of any devices. But really my role then starts with supporting the parents of these children. The children are fine, the children are just growing normally, and there will be a lot of them very young now because of early identification. But it's the parents are mostly hearing parents, will never have experienced this before. So it's all about supporting them on their fears. What are the implications? What's the best way forward? What are the best strategies? How to support the technology? And this just goes on until they move into early years education, into primary school, secondary school. Then you're working then with other professionals. Any professionals basically who are involved with that child, I will be there to support the needs of that child to do with technology, but probably even more so to do with language development and personal development, self-advocacy, which fundamentally I feel is the key to all of this, that they have to be able to self-advocate and know what they need in certain situations or what they need hearing people to do for them. And so in college, that should continue. So it's really about trying to find out how does this person experience the world and what are the difficulties for them, so that they can communicate that and then we can help them address those issues. There is a lot of things we know can help. There's a whole list of things and strategies, but each person will have their own needs and their own slightly different strategies possibly. And that's what we need to find. So rather than giving people strategies, we have to elicit those strategies from the individual themselves, the ones that work for them, and find ways of supporting them in communicating that to the people they meet wherever they are, in college, at home, in the shop, on the bus, so that they can manage and so that they don't feel constantly under pressure, nobody understands them, and they're not waiting for hearing people to solve the problem for them, because we won't, because we don't really understand it. So if you have or meet a student that has hearing loss and is wearing technology and you're unsure of either how well the technology they have is working or whether they would benefit from a radio aid. They may have had a radio aid in the past at their school, maybe they've stopped using it, or maybe they've had it, it was good, but they've not brought it with them to college. Then it would be worth seeking advice or support from someone like myself, an educational audiologist, who could maybe come along, chat with the person, find out what the technology is they have, how compatible it is with radio aids, and if they wish to go ahead with a trial, then we can make technology available for them to trial and see if it benefits them. I think we have to be aware of how limited technology is. Particularly hearing aids, they have a limited ability to pick up sound. So the two things we need to be aware of when we're working with any person with a hearing aid is get into a quiet environment and be close. That's when they work optimally. Second thing, I think we have to be aware that people with hearing loss now, particularly young people, most of them will be able to hear a lot better than they did in the past. But there may still be issues around understanding what's been said. So they may well have heard that you're speaking to them, but they may have missed a word or one of the words they didn't understand or they weren't quite sure of. So they may not be sure of the understanding, the message that's been sent. So our job then, the third thing, is to be aware that we will constantly, as hearing people, underestimate the effect of hearing loss on people. And that's even probably going to be more likely now because speech is better. These people don't sound like deaf people used to sound. So as hearing people, we think there's no problem. So don't underestimate a hearing loss and try to find out from the person what they find best.